Hi, and welcome to Dramatic Knits. My name is Steve, also known as Dramatic Knits.
And I'm Callie, also known as Calsters.
And today is Sunday, September 11th, 2016. This is episode 265. If you're a returning viewer, thanks for coming back one more week. And if you're new, hopefully you enjoyed today's show and you will come back in the future. Fair warning right off from the start, it is a beautiful weekend this weekend, and we have all the windows open in the house, so if you hear any truck noises, motorcycle noises, random kids, dogs barking because they hear things, I'm sorry. Fair warning right off from the start. We have both dogs out underneath our feet as well, so if you have earbuds in, be prepared. There may be the occasional bark. But we're happy to be back with you guys. It's been 2 weeks.
Yes.
And while we do miss recording every week, we do love that we have so much to show you and to talk about and progress to be had every time we record, which is the best for both us and I think you guys in your valuable time. So, how you been, Callie?
I've been good. You?
Good. Getting back into the swing of things with work, but other than that, pretty good. So, let's get into weeks in review, shall we?
We shall.
So, I've back into, working full-time, being a high school teacher, and I'll just say right off from the beginning to all my students watching out there, do your homework. They've already found the show, so welcome to the show, and enjoy. So, this past week was interesting, though. We had Monday off for Labor Day, and then Tuesday and Wednesday we actually only had half days in my school because of heat. It was rather warm here, and yes, if you've been a long-time viewer, you know that my school was remodeled. We've been in our building not quite 3 years, so we definitely do have air conditioning. We did not when I first started working there. However, a lot of our elementary schools do not have air conditioning, and those were the schools that they were really excusing for because the heat and humidity in the buildings and the classrooms was getting so high. But if they release the younger kids, a lot of them need their older siblings to watch them because parents, do not want to be taking half days off from work. So that is why they released it, and they just did a district-wide call rather than by schools. So Tuesday was fine. I got to take a nap and get up and get some more work done for the business. But on Wednesday, I had to come home and then drive back out almost to where I work to take Cornelius, our Cairn Terrier, to the vet. Because he's been having issues the past couple weeks licking his paws to the skin, like all the fur gone. It's really bad allergies, so they ended up giving him a cortisone shot and putting him on prednisone, and we got a larger cone because he could still reach his back paws even with his little cone that we had back from when he got fixed. So that was alright, and he's now out of his cone and doing much better, so that's good. It'll take a while for the fur to grow back on the paws, but other than that, I think that's pretty much been about it. Andy and my mom and myself went to a local pumpkin patch, pumpkin farm here in I think it's in our town. Not sure. It's about 8 miles out from town. And we bought a whole bunch of gourds and pumpkins and things like that, and a hay bale and some, dried corn, and we decorated the front of the house, and I bought a nice wreath for the door, so excited to kind of get into the swing of fall, even though we have, another couple of weeks before it turns into fall. So, sorry again about the truck noises. We warned you. So, I live on almost the intersection of 2 busy streets in our town. So, how's been your past 2 weeks, Callie?
Work has been stressful. That's nothing new there. So let's not dwell on it. Monday I had off because again it was Labor Day, and then Friday I had off as well. Originally I was going to be attending my friend's boot camp graduation from the Navy up in Great Lakes, but due to tickets and the way that works and security and all things like that, I wasn't able to secure a ticket with their family, and that's okay. Because I scheduled an oil change because I was desperately due for one. So I did that, and then I had dinner with a good friend of mine, and so that worked out well. And then yesterday Steve and I went to our local yarn shop in the Bloomington Normal area, Les Moultons Rouge Knittery, and that was good. We also had lunch. I know, getting super swanky up in here, but it was good. I came away with purchases.
I did too.
I wanted you to admit it and not me have to say it. But it was good. And then this morning I had breakfast with my extended family and to celebrate my basically cousin-in-law that they'll probably never get married, but it's whatevs. They've been dating forever. Celebrate her birthday and then my cousin's birthday, which is next Tuesday. Or this coming Tuesday, I should say. So it was good. And then now I'm here.
Awesome. Well, let's jump into the knitting. So, what's taking about? I got 2 things. I know. 2 weeks, 2 things. I may have 2 things done next time we record. The first thing that I finished last week was my Pure Joy by Joji Locatelli, and I used Leading Men Fiber Arts Showcase in the Cherry Blossoms and Rosewood colorway on a size 6 US, which is 4 millimeters, and this thing is very long. So here is where the short rows can join, and then it comes all the way, there. But it was a very enjoyable knit. It's a good scarf type thing for, draping around. It takes some zhuzhing. I haven't taken modeled shots of this yet for my project page, but I did enjoy the knit. I'll probably use it as a shop sample for a while, and then it will probably go on to a home that'll appreciate it. So I do really enjoy the way that the Cherry Blossoms knit up are speckled yarns, because everybody speckles a little bit differently. But there's how Cherry Blossoms knit up in garter stitch, and then there's the rosewood at the bottom. So enjoyed that thoroughly, and I would highly recommend that pattern if you're looking for something that's garter stitch, rather mindless, and if you've got 2 skeins of fingering weight yarn, there you go. The second thing that I finished was my Flamingo Lingo socks, and I used Hiwassee Creek Dye Works BFL Twister in the Flamingo Lingo colorway, which was a club colorway from 2013. I don't believe she's dyeing anymore. And I used a size 1 US 2.25 millimeter needle on 64 stitches. I was doing these for Andy's mom for Christmas, and they're done. So they match perfectly down to the heels and toes. I did do a heel flap and gusset, but I did it from the opposite end of the ball, so that I didn't disrupt the sequencing on the front of the foot. Some of the where I picked up the gussets, like this tan stripe right here, is a little bit thinner, only for the fact that you're still decreasing those stitches down, but it's not that noticeable. So it's not like if I were to have done just continued the heel flapping gusset and then just kept going, I could have had a just 1 or 2 rows of a color rather than looking uniform down the front of the foot. So really happy with these. These will be done, and as I'm going to show you in a little bit, I'm going to be working on another project for her soon that hopefully would be done for Christmas as well. So, and it's really nice to have socks that actually fit my sock blockers. I got mediums, and mine always go way past, and they never have that tight fit block when I block them. I need to get some larger ones, and I had the opportunity at Stitches, and I've been getting a lot of guilt about getting things, because I almost purchased a Hanson e-spinner this morning, and I still might today. I have permission to do so. But I'm like, do I really need it? My wheel is fine. I just want to be lazy. But maybe I should wait till I wear out the wheel, you know what I mean? Then I could really legitimately justify it. But Like I bought a nice wreath at the pumpkin patch, and I didn't want to originally, and I was like, no, you know what? I want it. But I always feel guilt, so. Anyway, neither here nor there. I'm going off on a tangent. But that's all that I finished in the 2 weeks. But I'm super proud of those 2 objects, so.
I have not finished anything, so nothing for me.
Would you like to move into what's performing this week then?
You can go first.
All right. I don't have as many things down. I'm trying to pare down a little bit. I have about 3 active things on the needles. The first thing is my Sunstruck by Laura Ayler. I'm doing this as a knit along with our local yarn store, Les Moutons Rouge Knittery in Bloomington. And I'm using Madeline Tosh Merino Light in Farmhouse White, Tart, and the Great Grey Owl. And I'm going to be adding in a border soon of Leading Men Fiber Arts Showstop Intermission. That's our half skeins of our Showstopper base in the darkest hour, which is black. So I have one more section to do before I move on to the border. There's 12 sections, and I want to show you the right way. And I did weave in, I've been cutting at the top. They say you don't have to, but I didn't like being attached to 3 balls of yarn at all times. So, but I did weave in a chunk of the ends up at the top. So here's kind of where it stands. Yeah, right there. So it's got these beautiful wedges, and they increase and decrease out, and then it'll have a black border around the whole thing in garter stitch as well. So it is really striking. I'm happy with my colors. I think they play really well. In fact, I almost took a skein of Madeline Tosh Merino Light in a blackish color that I have in my stash to do the border, but I was like, it doesn't call for that much, and I don't want to not use the majority of it when I have half skeins readily available. Plus, the single ply is really nice, but because this is going to be on the edging, I figured the nylon might add some more stability to it, especially around the neck and the edges, so that it won't wear as much, rubbing against the neck or shoulders or whatnot. So that's that. And this, did I say it's a size 5 US 3.75 millimeter? So that's going. Hopefully, maybe, we'll see, fingers crossed. I may have this done the next time we record. Next up is Maya by Rosemary Hill, and I'm using Leading Men Fiber Arts Soliloquy in a progressive test dye that we realized we didn't want to do again. And last time I was still on the first color, which is like a gold, and then I went to a green and a blue. I'm now in the green, and I'm actually only a couple rows away from the final lace edging, which is just 2 rows, and you do that until you run out of yarn. So I have a feeling I'll be doing it for quite a while. But here's where the shawl is. Now it's kind of bunched up, but you can see the leaf motif with the beads, maybe? See the beads in there? And there's actually a lot of beads down in the green section.
Now, are those purposely placed beads, or are they random?
They're purposely placed, and they are done with a crochet hook. I've never done the pre-strung, or I might have done it once just to learn the technique. I don't think I would want to ever do pre-strung. I think that's just a lot of work. I don't mind the crochet hook. People have, I know people have remarked, Paula of Knitting Pipeline remarked recently on an episode that it slowed down her rhythm, but I find that it gives itself a rhythm as well. And yeah, you have to slow down, but I like that placing the bead. It feels
different.
It feels like you're accomplishing something every time you hit that bead. So I was a little worried because I have a lot of beads, and I thought I bought according to the pattern, but I think it adds more in the edging and even more in the final 2-row repeat edging. So I can't wait to show you guys this in all of its glory when it's done. But it's been fun to do a little bit of lace and not just garter all the time. Well, don't get me wrong. Most of the time my mind just wants garter, but sometimes it's nice to sit and work on that. So, and last but not least, I have a new pair of socks on the needles because I finished my other ones. Yesterday I cast on for the Spring Mix socks. They're using Knit Picks Felici in Spring Mix, which looks like this. Never used Felici before, but this was kindly donated as a gift to me. So I have 2 balls of this, and then I'm putting in contrasting cuff, heel, and toe using Leading Men Fiber Arts Showstopper Intermission in the black walnut colorway. So I really like this color combo. And so I am about 10 rows into a 2x2 ribbing on a size 1 US 2.25 millimeters, and I'm doing this on 72 stitches for myself. So I'm going to do about 5 more rounds, 15 rounds of cuff, and then 65 rounds down the foot before I put in the afterthought heel. Or I haven't decided if I'm going to do a true afterthought or if I'm just going to put in a heel flap and gusset with the contrasting yarn yet, but I'll decide when I get there what I want to do. So that's all that I'm working on.
Cool. I'm working on 3 things.
What?
I know. It's getting a little crazy in here. So let me show you in the order that I started them. I cast on a pair of opal socks. These
were stash enhancement last episode.
Yes. And I cast them on relatively soon after we recorded. It might have been that same day. It's opal in their classic line, whenever that came out. Oh no.
They'll be okay.
I got it. Alright. So I did that, and this is the first sock, and I've gotten pretty far. And I actually put the waist yarn in for the heel flap. It looked like it wasn't gonna clash when I first put it in, and then it did. So I made the side stitches kind of loose from where I pick up, so that way I can actually see it. But this is going really quickly, and for a long time this past week this was the only thing that had cast on. And then
she threw caution to the wind.
Yep, I did. And then those are on size 0 US, which I believe are 2.0 millimeter, I think.
But yes.
And then let me put this needle back with that, because otherwise that'd be disastrous if I lost it. And then I cast on a boomerang. And
shocker.
I know, right?
We love our boomerangs.
And I'm using a size 4 US, which is a 3.5 millimeter. I kept that in the bag so that way I could remember. It is on another Crafty Girls, her regular base, but I can't think of it because I didn't put her
Strong
tag.
sock?
Yes. In her strong sock base in the gamut colorway.
So beautiful.
It is. So I had this and I was working on it at SSK, but it wasn't the boomerang. It was one pattern, then it was another pattern, and I was like, I give up on mental brain power, so that's what I'm doing. And I got a pretty good start on that. And then yesterday when we went to our LYS, I picked up a kit because I don't want to say I forgot, but I don't want to say that I quite remembered it so vividly. But I picked up a kit for a baby sweater. A friend of mine got pregnant earlier this year, and her husband have tried, and they've lost kiddos in the process, and so this is kind of like a rainbow baby for them, and I wanted to do something special for them because they're totally knit blanket worthy, but I don't want to do that just yet because this kiddo is going to be born around Christmas, so I kind of want to do something a little bit after she's born because I want to take time to actually find a pattern that's meaningful. So, but I bought this kit, and it is from Julep Bee, and it's called the Cooper pattern. I posted it on my Instagram page, but fun fact, if you are looking for this pattern, it is not called this. You will not find it on Ravelry. And if you try to go to julepbee.com, which it says on here, that webpage no longer exists. So, after much Ravelry searching, it is now called, the pattern is published by Classic Elite Yarns, and I believe the the designer, her name is Susan, and I believe her last name is Mills, but it is top down baby sweater cardigan, or top down baby cardigan. So if you're looking for it, it's a $6 Ravelry download pattern. I actually downloaded the pattern because I couldn't find this pattern to see if there was any erratas or anything like that. The pattern is pretty much verbatim on the actual Ravelry pattern, and it's just nice to now have it in my digital Ravelry library. So I don't think it's a waste of money, but it sure would have been helpful to know it as its real thing. But it uses classic Liberty Wool by Classic Elite Yarns. It's 100% washable wool. It comes in 50 gram put-ups, and it's 122 yards. I'm almost done all the way through. I have the neck done, the yoke is almost done, and I'm about ready to divide for the sleeves. But this is what it's looking like. I really like the pattern and the colors. If you're looking for it, the colorway is 7876. I didn't take the time to look it up what it means, but I started this last night, and this is how much of the first ball that I have left. So I'm doing the 24-month size, and I started on with the needles that they recommended, which was a US 6. It has you do, this is not really a secret because it says on the pattern page, it's an I-cord cast on, and that's something I had never learned how to do. And when I was checking, once I did find it on Ravelry what it was, when I was checking other people's pages, they were saying, oh, the directions are super clear in how to do the I-cord cast on, but there is not instructions on how to do the I-cord cast on, so I YouTubed it, and this is what made me want to download the Ravelry pattern. But they have, for pattern stitches, the cable cast on method, which I already knew how to do, but I was like, oh, I wonder if they call it something else, you know, in different patterning and things like that, but that's not what it was. But it is a new technique, and I really like it, and I would consider doing it for baby blankets. So that's kind of, you know, that was a nice technique to learn for future things. But I really like it. It is well written. So yeah, like I said, if you're wanting to do it, just know that there's a name change for it on Ravelry, and it's Top Down Baby Cardigan by Classic Elite Yarns. So I went from a 6, and now I'm using a size 4 US. So.
Cool. So what's in rehearsal this episode? What are we going to be casting on? As I've been saying the last few weeks, I'm going to be working on Tidal Shoals by Michelle Steed, and I did bring the pattern back up to show you. I picked this up at the Super Summer Knit Together in Nashville, and don't mind the watermarks. Andy's mom dropped tea on it, but it's going to be for her. So it's an open work vest wrap type piece. You can see more in the back kind of how it's done. I'm going to be doing the 2-color version. The main body is going to be in Leading Men Fiber Arts Soliloquy and Sandcastle, and we haven't decided on the coordinating color to go with it. We're thinking maybe Eternal Kiss or Raspberry Parfait, or you know what, I might have to do Mary's Jam, which is a new purple that we haven't really done. We brought it out for SSK as a gradient, and we haven't done it since then, and it's named after her. So I think I made a decision. Thanks for talking me through it.
No problem.
Once I finish Maya, I'm going to cast that on. And then when I finish the Sunstruck, I'm going to cast on for our new Knit Along, which Callie's going to talk about a little bit later. Our fall, y'all. It's fall, y'all. Knit Along. And it is some yarn that I picked up at my local yarn store a while ago on clearance, and it's Barocco Borealis, which is 60% acrylic, 40% woolen, color 5082, and I have 3 skeins of it. It is a bulky yarn, and this reminds me very much of, it hints at Halloween. So I figured Halloween's in fall, so that works. And I did bring up the pattern. I'm going to be doing Outlier by Laura Ayler. So I finished Laura Ayler, and I'm going to cast on a new Laura
Ayler.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what it looks like. It's a simple triangular shawl, which goes between stockinette and garter. That's all it is. Ooh. You can see my front door. See, it's right there. Hey. So I figured it'd be really good and just let the yarn speak and let the pattern be pretty basic and simple. So I'm going to be casting that on when I finish my Sunstruck.
Very cool. What I plan on doing is casting off this baby cardigan relatively quickly, and then I will probably do another one for another friend that's having her baby boy here pretty soon, and I haven't done anything for her, and it's their second baby. So the first one I did a blanket, and I feel less pressure with this one. But I feel like I'm going to get a lecture about not doing one, sorry. But I plan on doing a new cast on for our fall y'all. And I need to call House of Yarn because I can't remember the pattern that I saw that I was like, oh, I want to do that. But I bought yarn for it down at House of Yarn while we were at SSK, and it is the perfect fall colors. So I kind of am doing, it's in my stash now, let's move it out. So I'm doing that. So, yes.
So let's move into behind the scenes, my spinning. I did finish some spinning for a commission spin, but unfortunately I did not want to make the customer wait, so I shipped it off last week. And but I did take a picture of it, so I thought I'd show it to you. This is Pigeon Roof Studios Superwash BFL in the Sand and Sky colorway, and I got 202 yards of a chain plied worsted weight. So there you go. You can see it there. That's how it turned out. I was really happy with it, really pleased. And so I immediately used my random number generator on my fiber stash and pulled out some Three Waters Farm Targhee in the Lingering Light colorway. And I didn't bring it up here to show you. Sorry, I forgot to bring the little the rest of the fiber I haven't spun. So you'll have to wait to see that. I'm probably 2/3 of the way done spinning it. I am going to be chain plying or Navajo plying that as well. And something tells me it's not Targhee. I want to say it's Rambouillet. I don't know. Maybe I didn't change it. But maybe it is. It's one of those squishy, springy, spongy fibers. So working on that diligently, but unfortunately I don't have that to show you. So in the scene shop, again, I'm not doing any cross-stitching or the diamond paintings. I'm just enjoying doing what I enjoy doing and cutting back and really putting the love and effort into those things. So, do you have anything?
Anything other than knitting? No, I'm not crafting a whole bunch because life is consuming me.
Sounds good. Well, not that life's consuming you, but that we're both being focused.
Yeah.
So, in the spotlight this week, what are we watching and reading? I've been watching a variety of TV shows. I'm watching The Strain, which came on a couple weeks ago now. It's still keeping my attention. It's not too bad, so I can't complain. And what premieres tonight? No, nothing premieres. No, that's this week is American Horror Story. Wednesday. So I'll let you know because there's a lot of hype of what it's going to be about and what it's going to revolve around and even who the cast is. But they haven't announced much. Their whole premise is, question mark for season 6. So, but I did watch a couple movies in the last 2 weeks. I watched The Lazarus Effect, which I think came out last year. I couldn't tell you any names from them, who was in it, but it's basically about scientists bringing people back from after they've died to kind of give a second chance, and then of course things don't go right. And it wasn't totally a scary movie, but it tried to be, but suspense, and it was about as good as you might expect it to be. all of the movies I've watched have been about as good as you might expect them to be. And then Andy and I sat down the other night and we watched Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse, which it was cheesy for cheesy's sake. It reminds me a lot of high school comedies. I've done and directed some of them, one even with the zombies in them. But it was funny. Did it have some laugh out loud moments? Sure. It had Cloris Leachman in it for two scenes, and she became a zombie, so you gotta enjoy that. And yeah, so if you're looking for something simple and fun that you don't have to pay too much attention to and can knit, sure, give it a chance. That we watched through Amazon Prime. And then last night through Amazon Prime, I watched Hot Pursuit, which stars Renee Zellweger and
Sofia Vergara.
Yeah. Again, about as good as you thought it would be. If you looked at the promos for that video and were like, that is a really odd pairing. It's a really odd pairing. Was it funny? Sure. Did they have like the chemistry of Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy in that
The
Heat? No. But it was all right. It was good. It kept my attention. And reading wise, I finished one book. I finished Hollow City by Ransom Riggs. This is the second in the series of Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. It picked up where the first one left off, and it left you with a cliffhanger again for the third book. So if I've read two, I probably will read the third one at some point. The movie is on its way out. From what I've seen from some of the promos and things, I do not think that the movie is staying very true to the first book in terms of even characters and relationships. There are some of the same characters with the peculiarities. Can't talk today. But from what I've seen, I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know. But, that's Hollywood for you. So I gave the book 3 stars. Again, I kind of felt like I felt with the first one. Didn't hate it. I didn't love it. But I'm an oddity. Because as Callie has said before in her readings of reviews, people usually take one extreme or the other with it. But I went along for the ride and I enjoyed it. The narrator was really good. I listened to the Audible version on this, which the Audible version does come with a PDF of the photos. So actually on my iTunes I was able to, or even I think it was maybe through Audible's website, you could download the PDF. And so I was able to glance over the photographs to kind of have those in my mind as I was listening to them to and from work. So, but the narrator was really good because there's a lot of different accents in this book, and he does a very good job of that. So I would recommend the Audible version of Hollow City. So that's all I'm watching and reading.
Very cool. I am watching a lot of Law and Order, Criminal Intent, Law and Order SVU. Did I mention Law and Order? So I've been watching a lot of reruns. I enjoy it because my parents watched Law and Order when it first started, so I've remember bits and pieces of certain older episodes, so it's kind of nice to see how that went down. It's really interesting to watch it now, and especially because a lot of things that were timely topics then are still timely topics now. They were talking about the death penalty in a episode, and then here in one of the ones that I stayed up way too late last night to watch was from 95, and they were talking about cybersecurity. So it was just very interesting to see that, really they were kind of ahead of their game, but everything's still relative, I guess. So that's been interesting. My reading has really kind of hit slump mode. I don't even know if I'm gonna hit my Goodreads goal challenge this year, which would be disappointing if I didn't make it, because I made it barely under the wire last year. But I just haven't read anything that's super caught my attention. I started reading The Girls and I just haven't been able to finish it, but I do like that. but I feel like I really need to carve out some time if I do like it because I need sleep as well. But right now, I'm reading a book called The Search for Happiness, and it's like 196 pages. So if I don't like it, then what else? But if I do like it, I only spent $4.98 on it, so I'm really okay with that too. So yeah, it's just been hit and miss with reading, and that kind of really bothers me because I'd really like to actually kind of regain the momentum of my reading again. So hopefully this will do the trick. Hopefully it'll be like, hey, this was 196 pages. Maybe you'll get something out of it. So yeah.
Nice. Well, let's talk stash enhancement because we did go to our local yarn store yesterday.
You did way better than I did.
I did. I wasn't going to even get anything, but she's been getting a lot of new yarn in, which is awesome for us as patrons of the shop.
Yeah.
Very tempting, especially when you're not supposed to, be buying more yarn. But for me, she got some Dream in Color in, a new shipment of Dream in Color in several weeks ago, and there's been some colorways of the Classy Calling My Name. And Classy is their worsted weight, and I'm like, well, I don't have that much worsted weight. I'd feel really guilty about stashing more fingering weight, but worsted, I could get a stash of worsted. You can always knit hats and mitts out of them, right? So I picked up 2 skeins of Dream in Color Classy, which is 250 yards of a superwash merino worsted weight, 4 ounces. The first one that caught my attention was called Milky Spite, which is color number 608, and this is the one that I picked up. And so I love, it looks like the iridescence on a bubble. Like when you blow bubbles and you get that sheen and iridescence, just the subtle color shifts and hues. Neither one of these colorways is going to be for me, but I really was entranced by that. And each skein had a little, the nice thing about them, each skein had their own personality and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. The other one I picked up is Pinot, number 748, and this one has rich purples and some dark gold undertones and pinks and magentas, and so I picked that one up. I had Callie help me, and she told me one, and I had 2 in my hand, and I went back to put the other one back, and I put them both back and grabbed the third one. So that's how I am. I ask for people's opinions, and then I go completely the opposite of either
rogue.
one. Yep. So I'm happy with my 2 purchases yesterday, and she's getting Hedgehog in. I'm gonna announce it because she posted spoilers, and if you do go to our local yarn store and you haven't heard of Hedgehog, you'll be very pleased when it comes in. So I've never tried it, I've never bought any, so I know I'll be making some future purchases when she gets that shipment in.
If you are local to us, make sure that you leave some. That'd be great.
Please.
I went in yesterday thinking, oh, I really like working with Opal, and because I was never into socks, I don't have like a huge stash of it. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna get just like another skein to like replace that skein. And then I was like, at one point I had like 3 or 4 in my hands, and I was like, you need to rein this in, Holmes. So I did. First of all, Kelly, the store owner, she does her own drawstring bags. So I purchased one. I really like this. And I got 1 skein of Opal, and this is in the, I'm going to try to do the best that I can, the Schnucky colorway from Opal. It's from their new Rainforest line, I believe. And so this is what it looks like. I'm making my mom socks for Christmas. So my mom's an avid bird watcher, so I showed it to her last night and she really likes it, and I can't keep a secret to save my life when it comes to presents, so she was like, oh, awesome, I'm gonna really like those. So cool. And then I got the kit, and the last thing that I got was some new Manos del Uruguay. I was taught that it's Uruguay in Spanish class, but I know there's a number of ways other people pronounce it, so I just want to preface that. In their Allegra base, and this is the agave colorway. It's 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. But isn't this gorgeous? Like, for real.
Take that in. It reminds me a lot of, like, I see that and I think, like, neon lights at night type of thing. But she asked my opinion because there was, like, 4 or 5 skeins. And she's like, which one do you like best? And we picked that one because, one, I like the green. But also the black has, like, the undertones of the colors underneath it. So
it was good because that was, of the 4 that they had, that was the one that skein was the one that I picked, and we both agreed. And you know what I did? I bought that skein. Because when I ask for people's opinion, I tend to go with it unless it's.
But that was the one you also liked. Might have been a different story if your heart was tugging you in a different direction.
I mean, as long as you're not going to kill me. Sorry. One of Steve's neighbors kind of tends to creep me out just in general, and like he just rolled up with like a 48 ounce polar pop, and like just being super stealthy. It's early goose season here, and he is definitely decked out in goose attire.
He's a nice guy.
He is. He kind of reminds me of my dad though, so I feel like I'm always gonna get like, I don't know, nice guy. I don't think he'd kill me.
As she says this with all of our windows open.
Yeah. I said it relatively quietly. This is not my loud voice.
He's gonna come ask me where you live.
Only if he's rich. 1 foot in a grave. No
wife
kids.
And kids. Has a wife and kids. Kid. Anyway, you guys don't care about my neighbors. So let's move into a round of applause. First of all, I've been in contact with one of our viewers, and she offhanded mentioned that her daughter's birthday is today. And I said, how fitting that today is the day that we're recording. And so I said, you know what? We're going to give her a birthday shout out. So I would like to say, and Callie is joining me as well, because her daughter is a viewer of the podcast as well, to happy birthday to Delia. So happy birthday.
Very happy birthday.
Hopefully your weather is as glorious and beautiful as it is here, and you're enjoying your special day. So I just wanted to say quickly, happy birthday, Delia.
Happy birthday. I hope your day is filled with cash, cake, and confetti.
Cash. She was trying to say cake and cash together.
Cake and cash.
Cake and cash.
Yes.
Anyway, so moving on to that, we have our Redemption Knit Along has come to a close.
Yes.
And we were supposed to draw winners, and we didn't, so we're going to do that one live on the podcast.
Just wanted to say thank you everyone that participated. That was awesome. I had bigger plans for myself to get some other things done, but it just didn't work out. But you guys did some awesome work. Like, you guys cleaned off some serious needles. And you guys definitely are awesome for that. And I really liked a lot of the projects that you guys did. Not like a lot, like all of them. And that was really cool to see everybody. And I really thought it was neat that you guys were thanking us to do this cowl to get you motivated. Really, I just wanted an excuse to finish my Hitafude, but that clearly did not happen.
I guess the Redemption Cal is coming back next year. So we had 2 through 38 as entries, and I'm going to let old school. Number 10 is the winner. Yes. And so if we go back, number 10 is...
It's on the first page.
It is on the first page. I need to click on it and wait for the internet to work. Number 10 is Digital Dinah.
I saw this and I was like, dang girl.
And she did... what is this called? All the Shades of Truth for her Potions Owl. That must be for the Harry Potter House Cup. And this beautiful...
It's gorgeous.
Either shawl, table runner... It's pictured on a table, so... So congratulations, Dinah. She is one from us before. She
Yes.
is from... Oh, I can't remember now. Do you want to show her what she's won now?
Yes, you have won.
Norway.
Yes. So definitely get in touch with me, and I will be sending your prize out. So what did you win? I don't think you have this. I'm just going to
Probably
say.
not.
But I ordered a second one of these from SSK. So you were winning Turtle Pearl yarn in the striped turtle toes base. And this is in Party. We're 5. This was the exclusive SSK colorway. I'm just all over the place today.
For this year.
For this year. So they are 2 identical self-striping skeins. So
What's really neat is it's stripes between the teal and the red and the gray, and then there's like a variegated zebra striping stripe in there as well. So
yes. So get in touch with me and with your complete mailing address, and honestly, I know it's international, so please write it out the way that y'all need to have me send it to you, because I'll make something up and then it'll be wrong and then it won't go well. So yeah, congratulations. Thanks again for participating, and happy yarn will be coming to you.
All right, so do you want to talk about our new knit along?
Yes. So fall, y'all, Cal.
It's fall, y'all.
It is.
Not technically, we got a couple more weeks, but for us, it's fall, y'all.
Yeah. So here's the lowdown of it, and this will go back up into the threads, because I noticed my computer ate it last night, and that makes me sad.
That was a good frown.
It was, because I really need a new computer, but I also really don't want to have to look. But anywho, that's neither here nor there. So it's a fall, y'all, Cal. So basically what it is going to be, today is the cast on day for it. And so it'll run from September 11th through November 30th. And it's going to be anything fall related. So it could be hats, it could be scarves, it could be cows, it could be mittens, it could be sweaters.
It could be anything, because
Yep.
even if the colors remind you of fall. Think of, if you watch the Knit Girls,
Yep.
their, is it Halloween or is it
Yep.
the Halloween craft all the things? We're not doing craft all the things. It's got to be knitting related. But if you can justify it to us as to why it is fall, y'all, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you my philosophy on this is I'm not going to be super hard on it.
Even if it's like bright summer colors, if
Yep.
you can come up with a good enough story as to why it's fall,
Yep.
y'all.
Because really, it's fall to us here in the Midwest, but depending on where y'all are at in the world,
It's true.
it could be summer there. Right?
So we're super excited about this,
Yes.
and we'll have wonderful prizes as always.
Yes.
As with all of our knit-alongs, if you use any base of Leading Men Fiber Arts, you can post your finished object picture twice to get 2 entries into the drawing. Every 50 posts, we'll start off with 1 prize. If we hit 50 posts, we'll add a second prize, 100 posts, third prize, so on and so forth.
So one of the other things that I'm going to do, in addition to this cow, is a chatter thread specific to baking and cooking. So I really love, this is the time of the year where my cooking game gets strong. Like, you know what I'm talking about. We're talking chilly weather.
Andy bought stuff to make chili this week.
We're talking pie weather. We're talking brownies. We're talking about really anything that's sweet. Like, I don't need a justification.
We bought stuff to make a pineapple upside down cake.
I'm talking about, like, lasagna.
We bought that too.
I'm talking pasta baked dishes. Really, like, sell me your recipes, and I might do pattern prizes throughout that thread, throughout the time that we have that open.
Yeah.
But definitely, like, okay,
Link us to recipes.
Yes.
I want to be encouraged, yeah.
my family is Methodist, and we have strong casserole. Like, it's strong casserole game. Like, there's very few casseroles I don't like. So, come with your casserole game. post it in the thread, share links to recipes. If you want to give us the secret recipe, in a PM, that's cool too. I mean, I'm just saying, that might earn you a pattern prize just right there. So, not really, but like maybe.
I'm thinking, comes to my brain, I have a recipe that I haven't made for a while for apple butter oatmeal cookies. And they're supposed to be diabetic friendly. They still have carbs in them, but and they're great chewy cookies. So anything with apple butter,
or apples in general.
Making jam. Well, I guess jam is more of a summer thing, but
there's
depends on what the seasonal berry is or whatever. But again, as long as you can sell it, tell us what's that down home comfort food that you really like to break out and get at in the fall, because in the fall you can legitimately turn on your oven and not swelter your house out, right? So, and if you're like us, you leave the oven open and use it as a form of heat.
Yep.
Until it cools off. So.
Yep. You can avoid your heating bill that way. But also, like for me, we have magicals at my college, and that always signaled, like fall was coming to the end. And this year it is actually really closer to the end of the month of November. But we always serve wassail, and I love wassail. So I never think, why shouldn't I make it throughout the fall season? So yes, so that will be a separate thread, and like I said, I'll be drawing randomly for pattern prizes. So that's another way to get involved. If maybe your knitting mojo's not quite there, hopefully it'll come back. So, and maybe you'll have some delicious baked goods or food waiting in the process. So that's our fall, y'all, and then our food thread for that.
Some other prizes we have to give away. Back in July, we had a Race to the Finished Object contest, as we do every month. And our pattern winner from that month never got in contact with us, and it's been over a month. So I redrew, and somebody's going to win a pattern from our featured designer for the month of July, which was Laura Linneman of Knit Girls fame and of Lala Designs on Ravelry. And so I redrew from the July Race to the Finished Object thread, and I pulled number 46, who is DG White, and that's Denise from Seattle, and she did a chemo hat. So congratulations, yes. Denise. Belated congratulations, but you win any pattern of Laura Linneman's on Ravelry that is giftable. And just let me know, email me, Dramatic Knits, with what pattern you like, and I'll let Laura know, and she'll gift it to you.
That's exciting, because she just published a new pattern yesterday.
She did, and she's doing up a second sample out of Fleeting Men Fiber Arts.
Say what
where she's
now?
cast it on again. And because I gave her crap at SSK, we've known each other for years now, for 5-6 years, Laura and I, and she's even been booth bait at one of the Knitting Pipeline retreats, our first one. And she's never knit with our yarn yet. She just keeps buying it and hoarding it. I said, girl, you need to get some yarn on the needles. So she's doing one of her new patterns out of the Great Sweater Debate, which was our SSK colorway this year. So let's move into the August Race to the Finished Object contest. We drew for winners for that before we sat down to record. And August's Yarny prize is 2 skeins of Regia for Fadig, Fadig, with 2 dots over the A. Color, I don't know, I don't speak German, I'm sorry. In color number 05478, which is reds, oranges, looks like a speckled white and gray and blue colorway. And the winner of this is number 288, who is Mama C, and that is Christina from Washington. So congratulations, Christina.
She's so active on our boards and everywhere.
She is very much so. And she did a Biddy the Bashful Turtle. So congratulations. These are going to you. Please email me, Dramatic Knits, with what you would like, or with your mailing address, and I'll get this out in the mail to you as soon as I can. Second winner is another pattern from our featured designer, who again is Laura Linneman, and the number pulled for that was number 250, who is Valeria, and that is Valeria from the Netherlands, and she did a jar cozy. So congratulations to Valeria. Please email me, Dramatic Knits, with what pattern by Laura Linneman you would like, and I'll get you that pattern on its way to you in your digital library. So congratulations. And thank you to everyone once again for showing us every month what you finish and get off the needles. So, September is now 11 days in. This is the one downfall of recording every 2 weeks. So 11 days we've had the September Race to the Finished Object contest thread open. And again, we have 2 wonderful prizes. Feature designer Laura Linneman once again. And then up for grabs this month is a book, Chunky Knits, 31 Projects for You and Your Home, knit with bulky yarn by Ashley Little. This was donated to the podcast. Thank you very much to the donator. And this is going to be the Race to the Finished Object prize, one of them for this month. So we have not reviewed it, but
there's a lot of really good projects in there.
Quick.
Yeah.
It'd be great for, this is what I thought, we're going into the cooler months, so this would be a good book to get at this point. And also going into the holidays and gifting season, you could whip out some things fairly quickly.
It's true.
So, that's that. That being said, we're just about at an hour, but we're going to move into center stage, which is all things Leading Men Fiber Arts. If you're not interested and you're leaving us now, thank you so much for joining us this week, and we will see you in 2 weeks. But here we go. So let's do some administration stuff with what's going on with Leading Men Fiber Arts. So in the past week, we did have our September Colorway of the Month premiere, and pre-orders closed for that. There is quite a few of the original skeins still in the shop on most weights, so I don't know if because we didn't podcast or whatnot, and plus it's a kind of a vintagey color. So, but that being said, I'll show you that in just a little bit. And I do want to tell you, if you're around the Chicago suburbs, Niche, which is a local yarn store in Downers Grove, Illinois, is hosting Leading Men Fiber Arts for their pop-up shop for the month of September. So they've been posting on Instagram. You can find them as KNITCHEDG, I believe. The DG is for Downers Grove. On Instagram, they've been posting some of their setup and colors and things like that. There also some we just got posted on Instagram that yarnlovers.de, I believe, in Denmark, which is an online yarn store, just got a new shipment of our yarns in. So if you are overseas and it might be a little bit cheaper to buy from them, definitely check them out. Just Google search Yarn Lovers and you'll find them. We have a show coming up next week. We will be at Fiber in the Park in Earlville, Illinois, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on September 17th. And so come check us out if you're within driving distance. It is in the central northern part of Illinois, I would say. I don't know. I shoot up a couple hours and I'm there. It is literally in a pavilion and tents surrounded in the middle of kind of farms and nowhere. It's in the, I believe it's the Shenandoah State Park or somewhere like that. I've linked to their website and their Facebook group on our show notes, which can be found at dramaticknits.com. So come check us out and see the other vendors who are there as well. So not a ton of vendors, maybe 15 to 20, but a variety of different handcrafted things and local farms and stuff like that. They also had live music last year throughout the whole entirety of the day, and a small concessions area. So you know, couldn't ask for a better Saturday spent. The week after that will be the Leading Men Fiber Arts Trunk Show at Les Moutons Rouge Knittery in Bloomington. That'll be from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can come and see me. Andy will be helping me set up and tear down, but he will be coming back home to watch college football. You can't tear him away from that college football on a Saturday. So, but you can come see me and definitely check out Les Moutons Rouge. She has a large, vast amount of hand-dyed yarns in many different companies, from Dream in Color to Madeline Tosh, a large selection of Madeline Tosh, to Sweet Georgia, and a variety of other Zen Yarn Garden, a lot of different people. So, and then a lot of more commercial yarns as well. So it's a beautiful store. You should come check it out.
And especially if you're looking for anything Madeline Tosh that you might think is a retired colorway. She does have a lot of different skeins that she's, have been like sweater quantities, and now there's like 1 or 2 skeins left. So if you're looking for something, definitely check it out, because I know Button Jar Blue retired as a colorway, but she still has, I think, a skein or 2 of it in different bases. So she's definitely got a really good stock.
And then in October, on the I did this wrong. It's the 15th. October 15th is the Bishop Hill Fiber Guild Spin-In in Mossville, Illinois. So we'll be there. I believe that's earlier, 9 to 3 or something like that again. So I'll give you more details as we get closer to that, but I wanted to let you know what shows were coming up. So let me pull over the yarn that's been updated. So first of all, let me show you our September colorway. We had some troubles naming this, but I just started randomly shouting out things that came across my brain, and Andy liked this one. So the colorway is called And Then There's Maud from the TV show, which I've actually never seen, but I know a Family Guy joke that they do, and that's why I kind of... Anyway, if you watch Family Guy, you know what I'm talking about. So this is a skein of it on Dramaturg, which is our DK base. It is various shades of brown, almost a reddy brown, with shots of green through them. But it's actually, it melds orange and amethyst and the green together, and the orange and amethyst kind of make that brown color. So very vintagey, nature-like. So that is our September colorway of the month. And then let me show you some, got some new dye colors in, and I've been doing them up as gradients to kind of get a feel of where I want the actual dye color to be. And so one of them has already sold out. It was called Fortune Teller. It was a dark blue gray. And so I don't have that. This one is a new pink that I'm calling Tiny Dancer. And this is the only one that's left of that original set of of gradients. The Tiny Dancer colorway will be in between these two lightest shades when we do it up on other colors, which I think Andy did some up on Show Stealer yesterday. The other one we premiered last night is called Nacho Cheese. I feel like this is backwards for some reason. No. This is Nacho Cheese, and it just made me think of like from varying shades of cheese sauce almost to like the Dorito cheese dust. And Callie really hates that I did not go with the original nacho cheese, but I just went the plain nacho cheese. So these again are on our Soliloquy base, which is 100% Superwash BFL, fingering weight 130 yards per mini skein for a total of 650 yards.
Fun fact, I went through a period of my life that I did not eat anything food related that did not fall into that color family. I liked what I liked. Mac and cheese.
French fries.
Pears.
Doritos.
Yeah.
This one has not been put in the shop yet, so you're getting kind of a preview. It'll probably be put up tomorrow night. This is a new purple that we're calling Seduction. And Seduction will probably be towards this, the actual color will be towards this darkest one. But I really do love the way that this plays. And I actually almost kind of like these together, oddly enough. I don't know why.
Because they're opposite on the color wheel.
Probably. They would just be really contrasty, whereas this would be really nice too, but they'd more meld. Did you see one of the Amba Ryan patterns with the gradients? Anyway, there will be 2 more coming up soon. We've dyed one of them up. We haven't named it yet. And then we have another one that I was going to dye up today, which is not going to happen. But what else has been added to the shop? A few other things on Spotlight, which is 80% Superwash BFL, 20% nylon. No, it's not. Yes, it is. 400 yards of fingering weight. It's a high twist yarn. We have Christmas at Green Gables. This was originally came out with a Christmas kit for Little Skein and the Big Wolf for the Balsam Hollow Anne of Green Gables re-release. And we've been doing it up in the shop again. So it's very vintagey. I love the way this comes out. And it's got speckles of green and this copper color and then just kind of this antique-y overwash to it. On Callback, which is our 100% Superwash Merino Sport Weight, we have Tequila Sunrise. On Box Office, which is 100% Superwash Merino Worsted Weight, we have some Yarnakuken, which is our Zombie Apocalypse colorway for this year. Beautiful shades and blendings of green. And last but not least, on Showstopper, we have some Minty Fresh. This is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 463 yards.
I want a sweater in this color.
So, that's it. That's all that's been updated. I try to update one new thing a day, and that's what you got from us this past go around. So, definitely stop by and say hi and let me know if you watch the show, if you come to Fiber in the Park in Earlville this next weekend, or if you come visit us at the Leading Men Fiber Arts Trunk Show in Bloomington the following weekend, the 24th. That Sunday we will be recording again, so both those events will have happened before we see you again for episode 266. So, we hope you enjoy what's coming in terms of fall, y'all. And until next time,
We hope you
knit something dramatic.